It doesn't matter for how much people you fell in love in your life, the first crush is always the most memorable one, right? And Twilight's first crush was Flash Sentry. Both formed a perfect couple, and most fans wanted to see that develop. But why it never happened? Let's find out. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and today we're finding out why Twilight and Flash Sentry didn't end up together. Knowing Twilight well, her passion were always the books. She would show her face in them, and not even socialize or have fun with other ponies, and that was no mystery to the fans. In fact, it became a characteristic of the character, addicted to books. I personally got addicted to Harry Potter and the series of Diary of Wimpy Kid myself. But one day, Twilight finds out that there is more than books to life. There is also the boys. Like Flash Sentry, that besides being pretty, was gentle since the first day they met, and helped her to unveil the lie that Sunset Shimmer throwed over Twilight in the first Equestria Girls. Every time that they bumped into each other, Twilight got all blushed and nervous in a really cute way, practically throwing at our faces that she and Flash Sentry would be a couple in the future. But then, why didn't they even come to a date? Neither ended up together in the series or in the movies. Well, I think I have some explanations and advise you to hear them well, because you guys will tell me which of these options make more sense, okay? Fans didn't like Flash. In the first movie, when Flash helps Twilight to get up, I quickly thought that this was supposed to be a romantic pair, since it had all the cliche of him helping Twilight a lot of times in the movie. And there is this thing with the hand touching, you know? But even with all these cute moments, most of fans simply hated Flash. Given a quick search on Reddit, a lot of people said that it was a bad-written character and without a proper development, saying it was thrown in a rush in the movie with no apparent reason, and that made Hasbro give up the idea of making him and Twilight a couple. That part, I kinda get it, because how are you able to connect with a character that is so shallow? And don't make us want to know more about him? That made Flash Sentry a simple character and a dead weight in the movie, being just a boy that Twilight fell in love, because he has to. There is also the situation of the band battle, where Flash treats Twilight really poorly, making the girl cry over wanting to win that competition that bad, envying the girls' band. And that was the last stroke for those who were sick of the boy already. People only forgot to take into consideration the mermaids, since they were the ones responsible for causing all the kind of trouble in the school. Be honest, do you like Flash? If you do, leave a like in this video, and if you don't, tell me in the comment section why. A weird relationship. Even though Twilight became a human in Equestria Girls, she was still a pony in the inside, not a full human being, get it? So much that after she passes through the mirror, she exits it trotting, as she was still a pony. That means that if Flash started to date Twilight, he would be having a relationship with a pony, and not a real person. Of course that there are people who defend the couple, saying that Twilight in that moment was a human, both inside and outside, and that the only pony trait in her was her mind, with all the memories of her pony world, because besides that, it would be a-okay for both of them to date. I must say that I think all of this stuff is kinda weird, because even though she has changed her forms, that doesn't exclude the fact that Twilight is a pony. Even though she is a complete human body, inside she is an animal, and that feels wrong. And that brings us to the next problem, the age gap. We still don't know for sure how many years do the main six have in the pony world. For me, the protagonists are young adults in their 20 to 25 years. You know, since they live alone, have a business like Rarity and Applejack, while in the human world, people seem to be 16 to 18 years range, since they are still in high school, meaning there is another reason for fans to say that Twilight couldn't date her crush, because he could be a minor, meaning that she would be too old for Flash. How many years do you think they have? Let's discuss this in the comments to see if we can pinpoint the age for them. Jealous fans. Guys, you have no idea how much this fandom is. Even though My Little Pony is a kid show, most fans are straight up adults, like the majority of fans. Then, when the first Equestria Girls movie premiered, most of the male part of the fandom got upset of their favorite pony to be dating another guy. Man, I don't even know how to say that, but they have been gathering to try to justify this jealousy to Twilight, saying stuff like, "It's like when a friend of yours starts to date and he and her girlfriend don't separate anymore. It's so annoying. We just want to spend some time with Twilight." Man, this is just a cartoon. It's incredible how many people don't know how to separate reality from fiction. There are people that says Hasbro knew about the situation and removed Flash from the game, crushing any possibility of him and Twilight forming a couple. Have you ever been jealous of a cartoon character before? I did, but I'll not tell you about it. Try to guess it on the comments. But I think Twilight from the Pony World is a princess with many royal responsibilities and still represents the element of magic, which is the most important of the main 6 elements. And every time the main 6 needed to face a powerful enemy, they should be together, because then the elements of harmony can work. Just for Twilight to live in Equestria world put in a great risk for its inhabitants. Because if it was for a threat to show up and Celestia and Lunan couldn't deal with it, the ponies would be screwed. There wouldn't be a power of friendship capable of saving them. But if Twilight could travel between both worlds, she could continue to work as a princess and her date as human, right? Wrong. As shown in the comic before, Celestia once fell in love with King Sombra. Not the bad one, but a Sombra from another dimension. And to stay with him, she started to travel between dimensions without thinking about the consequences. And everything that is good doesn't last forever. She sadly had to give up the relationship or everything in the Equestria world would fall apart because of these travels between dimensions. And that, my friends, could end up happening to our friend Twilight. If she really started traveling between the pony world and the human world, it could happen just like in the games of Equestria, where many portals of many places of Equestria and Ponyville were exposed in Canterlot High, a really loss of balance between time and space, like Doctor Strange. I know that all of this could be solved by Twilight staying with Flash in the pony world, but there is no connection with Flash and Twilight. Both ponies wouldn't have time to enjoy each other's company. He is a royal guard and she is a princess. Both positions are really busy. And again, Princess Twilight was just a step of ruling Equestria at that point. Another reason that she wouldn't have time to date or do things like that. But in your opinion, which was the true reason for why Twilight and Flash Sentry didn't end up together as a couple? Tell me in the comments. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any content around here, okay? It's free and you only end up winning. Thanks for watching till here and hasta la vista.